See,
Sure, sure.
once you're making a software product, it doesn't mean that you start from scratch and you start building code by code and you build a software product. It so happens that while building a product, there might be a lot of apps which might be available with you already, or there might be certain screens. There might can be chat windows, there can be ladders, there can be screenshots. So a lot of things which are already available with you. And while you are making that particular product, you might use as a vendor certain things in that
Right,
product. So this clause 8.4, if you read, says that the consultant shall retain all right, title, interest in and to consultant pre-existing IP. Now, what is consultant pre-existing IP is essentially that if consultant had at some point earlier, made his own software, made his own
right, right.
this is the definition of consultant pre-existing IP. So let's say the consultant had certain things which were with him before making this software, and he has just used it in your software and given it to you in the deliverable. Doesn't mean that he has transferred the IPR rights over that particular consultant pre-existing IP to you.
Right.
And this is an
So
important aspect for
here,
it may be important for
yeah,
some people, it may not be important for some contracts, but if it is important for you, if your contract is such where you will be using some of your own codes, you will be using your own screenshots, you might be using your chat windows. So you may build one social media site and you have your own chat windows. You may use the same chat window code in the other social media site. So you retain the
right,
rights to these codes which you have developed on your own, and you have not been transferring it to the third party. So this is one, and this can only be judged by the IT people. Again, lawyers should just prod people, tell them that if you have your own IP, please protect it.
a question here. In this case, the service
Yeah, go
provider
ahead.
has not listed out
Yeah.
his pre-existing IP. I think in certain cases it might be advisable to specifically categorize or list down what is the pre-existing IP
Yes.
he's going to use.
Absolutely, absolutely, you're absolutely right. In this case, I mean, our client was very lazy. He said, I mean, you just mentioned it, I don't have. But ideally, if there are certain things which you really, really want to protect, and you might even have an IPR, I mean, you might have some certain your own software which is licensed, and you're using it in his software. So you might be using, let's say, Java, and
Right,
Java is something that is being licensed to you, and you're using it to make his product, and you finally transfer it to his website which uses that Java software. Doesn't mean you're transferring rights of Java to him, because that is
right,
something which is licensed to you to start with. So you can't even transfer in any case, but you're not even trying to transfer the rights over Java to him, even though the codes of Java must be going to his website because his website has the Java application in it. So these are things which are not part of his software. So when you're delivering it to him, you tell him that, boss, these are things that are not going to go to you. These are things that are going to
right.
be retained by me. Similarly, similar to this, I'll put a screenshot again. Similar
Okay,
to this, there's something called residual. I'll just put a screenshot of the definition. Residual is absolutely the same thing where, let's say during the, I mean, you have already have people who are making this software. So during the making of software, they might acquire skills. They might acquire general know-how, which does not get transferred to you. So if my people have developed a skill, developed a general know-how, you cannot tomorrow say that because you acquired this skill during my project, you cannot use it for any other project. This is a skill that I've acquired. This is a know-how I have
why
acquired.
would someone even claim this? This is like really abstract to claim, no?
Yes, I mean, from our point of view, we are not from this industry. We think, I mean, what's the big deal? Like, what is this? But it may so happen that during making of your product, I may come across something which does not become a part of your product, but I may be able to make altogether a new skill or a new product altogether, which will not get delivered to you, which does not form part of your software, which is in no way connected to your product, but has been made by one of my employees during the working course for you. So what you say is that if any of this does not get transferred to you in deliverable, is not part of your IP, is not part of confidential information, all of it is residual, is something that is not getting transferred to you and retained by my employees. Yeah. So I mean, the definition of residual actually is very clear. It says that It will not include the deliverable. It will not include the confidential information. It will not include company's IP. Anything else which is not a part of this should not ideally be transferred by the vendor to the company. This company pays you for deliverable, it pays you for their own IP, and it pays you for keeping the information confidential. Apart from this, if during the employment my employees are coming up with something which is really cool, and but they're developing it during the course of your work, doesn't mean that I transfer that work to you. It has to be retained by my employees and by my company. Yeah, so these are, I mean, these are things which I don't see in any IP contracts. I don't see it any IT contracts, but I feel that these are things which should be included by vendors. They should fight over this. They should say that they're not all IP rights are not going to be transferred to a company.
You've seen because
With
you've seen major risks arising out of it. I mean, I see the point of why you want to do that in practice, but have you seen that, people
Yeah.
squabble over these issues? Squabble over
Yes,
these?
see what happens is that let's say I'm a guy who makes software, and today I make a software for you, and tomorrow I make another software, and both have similar features. Let's say both
Yeah.
have the same chat window. So the first guy will say, boss, this is a chat window which is in my product, and this is a deliverable that you had given to me. So this is a right which IP right is mine. So please do not use this chat window for some other guy. Now I am a vendor who has to make these softwares. If the company is going to stop me from using certain features, I cannot do my business. I cannot make products for future people. So the idea behind protecting the IP rights of a vendor is for him to do effectively do his business, because he is in the business of providing software. If you're going to always say that you can't use this product because you made it for me, you can't use this feature of the product because you made it for me, he will not be able to carry on his business.
Right, but if somebody makes like a photo sharing site, you could at
Yes,
least say that don't make a similar photo sharing site
yes,
for a
absolutely,
competitor, or don't make it for
absolutely.
yourself in the next 2 years. And individual
Yes.
components, of course, if there's a chat box, you will need that for any other kind of site also.
Now, if that
So,
chat box has been developed as a part of the project, then definitely you have to transfer it to the new guy. You have to
right,
transfer
okay.
it to the company. But let's say that's a chat window which was essentially with me. You're not paying me for the chat window. I have just included it as a part. In fact, at that moment, a license is given for the chat window to the company to be used.
But that means that a person who has just started his IT services business, he may not have
Yes.
any pre-existing materials. And if he
Yeah, for
keeps
him,
transferring,
yeah.
if he starts transferring everything from scratch, there'll be a big problem. So I think he should include specific carve-outs over things that he will not agree to transfer, and which will form the base material of his own pre-existing IP. Because if he starts and transfers everything to his first client and so on and so forth to his second and third client, he'll not be left with any of his own IP.
No, no, no. Let me just clarify. I think there's some confusion to it. Now,
Okay.
consultant's pre-existing IP is not the work he's doing for other people. Consultant's pre-existing IP will be products that he has made himself, not for other people. If you're making a product for somebody else, then that belongs to other person. No doubts about it. That is
Right,
how
right.
IT industry works. But let's say I am a guy who has developed WhatsApp. Okay, I am the guy who developed it. I'm also a service provider. So you come and tell me that I want a website which gives chat, which gives social networking, which gives microblogging. So I said, okay, fine, I'll make a website for you in which I will include my WhatsApp software, because that is also a software I've developed. So I'll make it a part of your website and I'll give you the entire package. This doesn't mean I
Right.
transfer the right in WhatsApp to him. So consultant's pre-existing IP are those IP which he has independently made, not in terms of making it for a company. He has independently made certain products. He makes those products a part of his deliverable. Those products he's saying that I'm not transferring the rights over these independent products to you. These are the ones I keep, and I'm going to keep using it for other people as well.